The more than 3,500 people on Princess Cruises Grand Princess remained in limbo Saturday morning as they awaited further information on when and where the cruise ship will dock, after 21 people aboard tested positive for coronavirus.
At 9:10 a.m. local time, passengers received another update from the captain.
I'm sure you are anxious to know our forward plans, but unfortunately those have not yet been communicated to us by the authorities, the captain can be heard saying in a video obtained by USA Today. We are continuing to work with federal and state authorities regarding our destination and when you will be able to disembark. We will share that information with you as soon as it is confirmed.
In California, state authorities were working with federal officials around the clock to bring the ship to a non-commercial port over the weekend and test everyone for the virus. There was no immediate word on where the vessel will dock.
Passengers on the ship said Friday night that the captain has notified them they are moving to a location 20 miles off the coast for easier delivery of supplies.
While health officials said about 1,100 crew members will remain aboard, passengers could be disembarked to face quarantine, possibly at U.S. military bases or other sites. That's what happened to hundreds of passengers who were exposed to the virus on another Princess Cruises ship, the Diamond Princess, in January.
In his most recent comments about the ship, President Donald Trump, speaking Friday at the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta, said he would prefer not to allow the passengers onto American soil but will defer to the recommendations of medical experts.
I don't need to have the numbers of U.S. cases double because of one ship. That wasn't our fault, Trump said in a Fox News interview. And it wasn't the fault of the people on the ship either. Okay, it wasn't their fault either. And they are mostly American, so I can live either way with it.
Speaking at the White House on Friday evening, Vice President Mike Pence said that 46 people aboard the ship, which was being held off the coast of California, had been tested for coronavirus. Of those, 24 were negative and one of the tests was inconclusive. Pence said that of the 21 who tested positive, 19 were crew members and 2 were passengers.
Those that will need to be quarantined will be quarantined. Those who will require medical help will receive it, Pence said.
Kaylee Higgins, 17, is on board Grand Princess with her mother. She said Saturday that they were doing fine. At this point, she just wants more information.
Part of me wants to get tested and have a plan set soon, she told USA Today. But part of me also doesn't want that. I feel nervous if we have to move to a military base because I don't know how that will be like. Right now we are being treated well and it's not that bad in the room, so moving to a different location would be weird.
Some of the announcements from the captain, she said, have been confusing.
I think the captain could say more because we are reading more than what the captain is telling us on the news about the whole situation, she added.
Princess Cruises said the ship is providing food and beverages via room service, offering free internet and telephone service for passengers to stay in contact with families and working with the CDC to determine if additional precautionary measures are needed. The cruise line's medical team also is collecting information from guests regarding prescription refill needs. The company announced Wednesday those on board may have been exposed to coronavirus after sailing with 62 passengers who officials say had previously been on the ship's Mexico voyage with a 71-year-old California man who eventually died from the virus. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention advised guests stay in their rooms starting Thursday but had not declared a quarantine, according to a Thursday statement from Princess Cruises provided by spokesperson Olivia Oying-Ender. A Coast Guard helicopter lowered test kits onto the 951-foot Grand Princess by rope Thursday. On Friday evening, personal protective equipment was delivered to the ship via a U.S. Coast Guard helicopter, the line said Saturday. The new gear was meant to supplement the supply already on board. As of Saturday morning, coronavirus had infected more than 102,000 people globally and killed 3,491, according to Johns Hopkins data. As passengers remained on the Grand Princess, more cases connected to the ship came to light. Late Friday, the Chicago Department of Public Health said an employee of the Chicago Public Schools had tested positive for coronavirus, the city's first case and the sixth in Illinois. The woman, in her 50s, had disembarked from the Grand Princess in San Francisco on February 21 and returned to Chicago on February 24. She is currently hospitalized and in stable condition, city officials said.
The woman had returned to work, but stayed home once she started developing symptoms, officials said. The test came back positive on Friday.
The school where she works, Jacqueline B. Vaughn Occupational High School, will be closed next week.
The city's school system and health department have already begun an extensive outreach effort for every student, employee and family in this school community to inform them of the confirmed case, Mayor Lori Lightfoot said in a news conference late Friday.
Carson City Health and Human Services in Nevada confirmed on Friday that it is also monitoring a few individuals in its jurisdiction who have ties to the Grand Princess cruise ship.
In many respects, our ships are small floating cities. Just as life happens in cities for good and for bad, life also happens on board our ships, Princess Cruises President Jan Swartz said in a video posted to Twitter Friday morning.
Princess Cruises also owns the Diamond Princess, the ship that was quarantined in Yokohama, Japan, and experienced a coronavirus outbreak that infected nearly 700 passengers. 6 have died.
We learned a lot from our recent experience in Japan, and we are taking those lessons into account as we continue to support our fleet and our guests, Swartz said in the video on Twitter.
On social media, the cruise line was busy replying to a myriad of tweets from concerned customers with upcoming cruises, assuring them their bookings could be cancelled. Princess is allowing people who have a cruise booked through May 31, 2020, can make changes to their reservations.
Meanwhile, 3 Maryland residents tested positive Thursday for the coronavirus after traveling on an Egyptian cruise on the Nile River, Maryland Gov. Larry Hogan said on Friday evening.
The married couple in their 70s and an unrelated woman in her 50s, all from Montgomery County, are the first patients to test positive for coronavirus in the state.
This does appear to be the same cruise ship the World Health Organization, WHO, announced today has 12 workers who have been placed in quarantine for 14 days after testing positive, said Hogan. And our 3 Maryland cases appear to be linked to 6 confirmed coronavirus cases in Texas.
On Thursday, Texas health departments announced positive coronavirus tests for several Harris County residents who had recently traveled abroad together.
A cruise ship on Egypt's Nile River with over 150 tourists and local crew was in quarantine Saturday in the southern city of Luxor, after 12 people tested positive for the new coronavirus.
A Taiwanese-American tourist who had previously been on the same ship tested positive when she returned to Taiwan. The World Health Organization informed Egyptian authorities, who tested everyone currently on the ship.
Health authorities found a dozen of the ship's Egyptian crew members had contracted the fast-spreading virus, but did not show symptoms, according to a statement Friday.
The statement said the 12 will be transferred to isolation in a hospital on Egypt's north coast. The passengers, who include Americans, French and other nationalities, and the crew will remain quarantined on the ship awaiting further test results.
Egyptian authorities have been tight-lipped about the virus outbreak, previously reporting only 3 confirmed cases. That's even as the wider Mideast now has over 6,000 confirmed cases.
Contributing, The Associated Press, Andrea Mandel and Curtis Tate, USA Today, Matthew Prensky, Salisbury Daily Times.